This tutorial is for lesson 4, and this is mainly going to focus on the object snap commands. But before we get into the object snap commands, I'm going to show you a couple of things that I always do. Number one, even though this is for Unit 4, you can see that I have Unit 3 open. This is my finished one, and I'm going to use Unit 3 to help me set up for Unit 4 because it's just easier. All my layers are already set up, and I am ready to go. So very first thing I'm going to do is, you can see up here at the top it says Lesson 3 All. I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Save As, and I'm going to save this as Lesson 4 All. And once I click Save, you can see up at the top now it says Lesson 4 All. So now this is a copy, and I can pretty much get rid of all of the stuff that I don't need that's specifically for Lesson 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete most of this stuff that I'm not going to need. And now I'll be ready to go, and I can come back in here and double click these and change this from 3A to 4A and so on. So that's one thing that I always do, is just use the previous lesson. That way my layers are already set to go and I am ready to go. One other thing we should touch on, last lesson I showed you how to change the drawing limits, and if you don't remember, here it is again. I typed in limits in the lower left hand corner. The lower left hand corner is 0, 0, which is what I want it to be. My upper right corner is currently 30, 30. We're going to make ours 17, 11. So basically we're making it a B-size piece of paper, or 17 inches wide by 11 inches tall. And you really can't tell anything until you turn the grid on, but now when you turn the grid on, it's 17 inches this way and 11 inches tall. So that's where I have my grid set currently. One last thing that you guys should be aware of, and it goes over this in this lesson in the book, is setting up the drawing units. And to do so, you can just type in the word units, hit enter, and up comes the different types of units that are available. Currently I'm in decimal, but if we were drawing, say, a floor plan, we could change it to architectural. You could put it on fractional. There's engineering and scientific and other options as well. Other than that, currently the precision goes to the nearest 10,000th of an inch, which, if you remember, 1/16 is 0.0625, so this is where we want it to go. To the nearest 16th of an inch is 4 zeros, but maybe you wanted whole numbers only, or to the nearest 10th, or to the nearest 100th, and so on. So just typing in units will let you change this. You can also change this from inches. Maybe you're drawing something that's much larger and you want to be on feet, or you're using the metric system, or what have you. But so this is where you would go to make those changes. So again, it's just simply type in units, and you can make whatever changes you need to in here, and you are good to go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, this lesson is all about object snap, and most of these things are here, right here on the object snap toolbar. This is the object snap toolbar that I've dragged out into my screen, and you can see each one of these will say snap, snap to, and there's all sorts of different ones that we are going to use. So this is the toolbar that this is going to be a focus of. Also down here is eSnap, and we can make changes by right-clicking on those and going to Settings and checking or unchecking these as we see fit. So this is what this lesson is going to focus on. And a lot of times I can use either the settings down here on the bottom, or I can use the toolbar. And I think what you'll notice is I generally use the toolbar if I need to do something that I don't use it a lot of times. Other than that, I will make the change down here on the bottom to the eSnap settings. So here we go. I'm looking at lesson 4A, which basically what it wants me to do is it wants me to make some changes and to draw a few different circles and then snap to different spots of the circle. So I'm going to go ahead and draw some circles. So there's one. There's a smaller one. And I think they want me to draw one more smaller one, so there's that guy right there. And just so I don't have to draw this over and over again, I like using Control-C and Control-V to copy and paste. So Control-C, and then Control-V as in Victor is paste. And I can put this guy over here, and I can put this guy over here. And now I can use the proper lines to draw from the midpoints of each of these. So there's that midpoint, to that midpoint, to that midpoint, and back snapping to that one. So that's easy enough. And probably the hardest part of this one is learning snap to tangent. So I'm going to go ahead and click on line, And right now this is going to snap to what's called the quadrant, and you'll see what happens when I snap to the quadrant, which is this guy right here, and then I hit spacebar and spacebar again to get back into it. There's quadrant again, and like that. And you notice that what it does is it will actually run through the circle. This one actually looks okay up here, but this one down here is totally wrong because I need to do what's called snap to tangent. So I'm going to go ahead and delete both of those just to make sure I do this the right way. And here would be the proper way to do it. So I click on line, and the very first thing I want to do is, you see the square, that is snap to quadrant. There's another one that looks like a circle with a line on top of it that is snap to tangent. And here's snap to tangent up here. So I've already clicked on line. Now I click snap to tangent, and now you'll see no matter where I go in the circle, I have that tangent symbol. And I click on this, and I go over here, and here's quadrant again, and it's not giving me snap to tangent, so I just go back up here to my toolbar. I click on snap to tangent again, and now you see that no matter where I click, that it snaps to tangent automatically. So here we go again. I click on line, I click on snap to tangent, and there we go. For some reason, there we go. And I click on snap to tangent again and make sure I get it over here. And I do it again. And snap to tangent one more time. And it would look something like that. So you can see that nowhere does the line go through the circle, and every one of these it snaps through the tangent. So that is snap to tangent, and there are many other ones that you're going to use. I believe it has you draw a larger circle for part B, and I think it has you use different layers, and it may have you draw from different quadrants like so. I think it has you do something like this for lesson B. And this, and you can change the layers and draw the center line and different things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and look through this and see if there's anything else that I need to touch on. It looks like C, you're going to be snapping to perpendicular. So if I just simply draw a line, say over here, and now I click on line again, and I'm going to go up here to my toolbar and I'm going to look for snap to perpendicular, and I click on it, and now no matter where I go, I'm drawing this line, and it's going to be perpendicular or at a 90-degree angle to the previous line that I'm at. So I may click there, and then I hit spacebar, and then I click on line again, and I go back to snap to perpendicular, and again here I am. And no matter where I go in this line, doesn't matter which way, doesn't even matter if I go away from it, it's always going to be 90 degrees to that previous line. So that makes that pretty simple. And I can come around and easily check this, and I will. I can click here, and that's going to tell me that that's 90 degrees right there. Or I can do that again and click here, and it's going to tell me that that's 90 degrees. So it's really easy for me to check whether those are actually perpendicular or if they're just close to being perpendicular. So that would be lesson C. It looks like lesson D, all it wants you to do is snap to the midpoints. And that one's already on, so I don't really have to do too much here. I can just look for the triangles, and I can go, and you just keep going until you find all the triangles, and it's pretty simple, and you just keep going as far as you can go. So that one's pretty basic. Let's see what 4E has in store for us. That one's pretty much just snap to endpoint, no big deals. 4F doesn't look like anything too difficult that I haven't gone over before. And then 4G is just kind of everything, a culmination of everything that we've gone over up until now, that uses all of the different snaps available. So make sure you understand the different ones like quadrant. This guy right here, that would be the quadrant of that circle. Make sure you understand snap to tangent. Obviously you should know endpoints and midpoints. Understand snap to perpendicular, you'll use that one a fair amount. Snap to center. Sometimes it's difficult for lines to snap to the center of circles, or it's hard to find, so you can always use snap to center up here. So it's just getting familiar with the object snap toolbar, as well as getting familiar with the eSnap settings that are down here on the bottom. And that is what lesson 4 is all about. So I think I have it open. Lesson 4, when it's all said and done, ends up looking something like this. And here's all of them together. And obviously your name and period and date should be at the top of this as well. But you can see there's 4A, 4B. Make sure you use the appropriate layers as well. I guess I should have said this from the beginning. Anytime you are drawing just regular lines, I want to see them on the object layer. Right? I don't want to see the zero layer or def points or anything like that. So I want to see them on the object layer, and I should be seeing your text on the text layer as well. Okay? This one was one that a former student did, and they have it on the text heavy layer. As you'll recall, we only have a text layer, so we don't have a text layer. So when you click on any of your text, I should see it says text layer up here, and I should be able to click on any of these up here, and those should all be on the object layer. Let's say, for example, yours happen to be on the hidden layer. You can just grab them all. It's pretty simple, and go ahead and change them to the object layer, and it changes pretty quick. So make sure you're drawing on the appropriate layers. For example, down here, everything should be on the object layer, except obviously the red lines. Those are on the center line layer, and it's pretty simple. So that's lesson 4. I will be coming around to check this. So I'll see you again in lesson 5.